everyone, welcome to PCB e-classes. Right, we have covered the first lecture on the basic electrical engineering. This is the second lecture. Before moving to the second lecture, let us see what are the things we have dealt in lecture number 1. Welcome back. Let us start the lecture number 2. We will start the lecture number 2 with some standard notations what we will be following throughout the basic electrical engineering subject. Right? So we will go for the standard notations. Before moving to the standard notations, one of the very important part is that we should know about the elements. What are the elements? What is element actually? Right? So that is first element. What do you mean by an element? Element is that which has two terminals. It's very simple. Which has two terminals, right? So we have in electrical, we have right. This is say to the resistor. Or we are having inductor, or we are having capacitor, or we are having a diode, or it's a voltage source, right? It's a current source. These are the source actually, right? Now there are many examples. These are the examples. See here, it's an element. Why? Because it has only two terminals. Right? Here, two terminals. Thus, inductor is an element. Capacitor is having two terminals. That is why capacitor is an element. Diode is having two terminals. That is why it is an element. Voltage source, it's an element. Fine. This is the representation of the battery. In the next part we will be seeing this one. This is a current source which is having two terminals. So this is also an element. Element is what? What is an element? Element is that which has two terminals or a pair of terminal. That will be said as element. So these are the certain examples of the element. Now we will see certain notations. What are the notations we will be following? Fine. So moving to the next one. Notations. Notation. Fine. So we will start with the battery. If I will go for the battery, how it is denoted? This is said to be the battery, which is having one of the terminal is positive, another is negative. So this terminal will be positive and this terminal will be negative, represented as this one. Fine. But this is a battery. Battery is what type of source? It's always a DC source. So this is coming under DC source, and it will be having certain voltage. So it is a voltage source. Right? So as we are dealing with the DC source, we will see what are the representation of the DC sources. Fine. Another we are having is positive, negative. This is a voltage source. What type of source? DC voltage source. This battery. This is DC voltage source, represented by a circular, and plus and minus symbol will be there. Fine. What is this? This is a current source. This is the current source. So what type of source it is? DC current source. Representation or the notations. Next, we are having supply of two types. One is DC, another is AC. So how the AC voltage source is represented? What is this one? It's a voltage source, right? And it is AC voltage source. Make a note, in AC there is nothing called to be negative. Once it is represented as positive and negative, this represents the DC part, DC. Whereas in AC, we will always represent it by a sinusoidal, as well as one terminal will be treated as positive. That means it indicates it's an AC voltage source. Similarly, if it is an this type of thing is there. That means what is this one? Alternating in nature. That is why this is AC source. But what type of source? As the direction is given, so it is AC current source. AC current source. Clear? These are the notations what we will be following. Fine. This each and everything what we have represented here will be representing throughout the subject the same one. And this all are said to be the elements because everything is having a pair of terminals. So all are said to be the elements. So this all are said to be the elements. Clear? This is all about the element. Let us move to the type of elements. Type of elements. Before moving to the type of elements, we should know the proper representations of the current and the voltage drops. Right? So, suppose I am taking an element I don't know what type of element it is. Element means this will be having two terms. It will be having two terms. Fine. Now, if the current enters this side, this is the current direction, then this terminal will be treated as positive. Can you see here? No polarity I have given. Neither the positive, neither the negative. Only an element is there, and I am saying that some current is entering to it. Then, wherever the current enters, that will be positive, and the other terminal will be negative. Clear? And it's positive and negative, that means across this element the voltage is represented as V, the current entering is I. Clear? If it happens that the same element current enters from this side. Is there any polarity given? No. So, we will be taking that this one is positive and this will be negative. This is the voltage across the element. Clear? So, this will be our presentation throughout the subject. Now, let us see the type of elements. The type of elements are taken as per the VI characteristic across an element. That means, I have classified the elements with respect to the VI characteristic. I have taken as per VI characteristic of an element. As per the VI characteristic of an element, it has been classified. The elements are classified as, the first one is the linear and non-linear element. Next, second one is the active and passive element. Third one is a unilateral and bilateral element. Fourth one is a lumped and distributed, and the fifth one is a time variant and time invariant. These are the 5 classifications of the element as per the VI characteristic. Fine. So we will see one by one. So let us move to the first one, that is the linear and the non-linear part. When I am saying linear, what does it mean? You should know what is linear. Linear element means what? If the VI characteristic follows, first point, a single straight line equation. Right? Single straight line equation. And the straight line passes through origin. Right? Third, slope remains same. And these three conditions should obey for all time. For all time. Then only the element will be said as linear, else, well, write down this one, else non-linear. We'll see with the example. In the VI characteristic, we will be seeing that which one is a linear and which one is a non-linear. Right? Let us move to the examples. Suppose I have taken an element this is the element what I have taken. Fine. Element means what? It must have two terminals. So it is having two terminals. I have taken. Two terminals, and I am saying that a current is traveling in this direction. I. As soon as it enters to this element, its polarity will be positive, its polarity will be negative, and this will be said as voltage across the element. So we are finding out the VI characteristic. Right? So let us take I am taking the VI characteristic. Let us take this one as a V, this is the I. What the definition says, if the element will be said as linear if it follows the three points what I have said just now. What is it? Its characteristic should follow a single straight line equation. Single straight line equation. There should be a straight line, and it should the VI characteristic should follow a single straight line equation, passes through origin, and the slope remains same for all time. Means what? If I am taking a characteristic, if I am taking the VI characteristic of this element, and the element is having a characteristic like this. How many straight line? One straight line, right? Passes through origin. slope remains same. Slope remains same. Then this element will be said as linear element, else it will be a non-linear element. For example, let us see a characteristic. So V is I minus V, and I am having a characteristic fine. This is how many straight line? One straight line. Okay, fine. But is it passing through origin? No, it is not passing through origin. Not passing through origin. Thus, this will be linear and this will be non-linear in nature. Here, we will see another example. Let us take the VA characteristic of this element. This I, this V, this minus I, minus V, and the characteristic is in this way. Is it following straight line? Is it passing through the origin? Yes. Is it the slope is same? We don't know. First we will verify the steps. First one, it should follow the single straight line equation. But here you can see here, we have how many straight lines? This is one. This entire one is 2. And this is 3. How many straight line? 3 straight line. Is it linear? No. It's non-linear in nature. Non-linear in nature. Clear? This is all about the linear and the non-linear. If it follows a single straight line equation, then passes through. If it follows a single straight line equation, passes through origin, the slope remains same for all time, then only we will say that that particular element is linear or non-linear element, else it will be non-linear. Clear? Now let us see active element and the passive element. This is the second one. Active and passive. So, what do you mean by active element or the passive element? That we should know first. Active element. If an element emits certain energy to the circuit, then it will be said as active element. Else passive. Else passive. Right? This is one of the way what we define the active and the passive element. Now, another definition is there with respect to the VI characteristic. With respect to the VI characteristic, how we are defining it? If the VI characteristic slope is positive for all time, then it will say to be the passive. This is said to be the passive. Else active. Else it is said to be the active. We will see with the example. The same one. If I take a VI characteristic, this I, this V, this minus I, minus V, right? This type of characteristic is there. For example, right? This type of characteristic is there. Now, let us see the slope of this characteristic. This will be my slope. What is slope? It is yx is v by I minus I. So, this is its slope is negative. Right? If I find out its slope, then this slope will be also minus v by I. That means this is also negative. If the slope is negative, then this will be said as active element. We can revise the previous one. What is it? Linear and non-linear. Is it having a single straight line equation? Yes. Is it passing through the origin? Yes. Slope remains same throughout the time or for all time? Yes. That means it's a linear element also. That means what we will say? Linear active element. Linear active element. Clear? Next. We will go for another example. Suppose we have taken a VI characteristic, this I, this is V, this minus V, minus I, right? And the VI characteristic is given as this type of VI characteristic is given. Here what happens? What is the slope here? What is the slope? This will be the slope. What is this one? V by I. It is positive. But if I find out here the slope, what is the slope here? Minus V by I. That means the slope is negative. Now here you can see for all time it is not remaining total positive. Rather, for certain time it is positive and for the other certain time it is negative. That means it's an active element. Now, we'll revise the previous one. Is it linear or non-linear? What are the three conditions? It should have a single straight line equation. Is it? This is straight line. This is straight line. Two different straight lines are there. How many straight lines are there? Two. That means it is violating the points. So it is non-linear in nature. So it is non-linear in nature. Clear? Conclusion. How we will conclude it? Okay. Suppose I am taking the VI characteristic. This is V. This is minus I. This is minus V. VI characteristic. Right? How many quadrants are there? 4 quadrants. Now this is set of the first quadrant. Set of the second quadrant. The set of the third quadrant. And this is set of the fourth quadrant. Fine. If any of the characteristic lies in the first quadrant, what will be its slope? Definitely it will be y by x. What is the slope? Slope. Generally slope, what you are saying? Y by x. What is the y? V. Here it is. I. V is positive. I is positive. So the slope will be also positive. Right? V is positive. This is positive. And I is also positive. So the slope will be also positive. Whatever the characteristic present in the first quadrant, its slope will be always positive in nature. Clear? Moving to the second one. What happens here? V by minus I. So V by minus I. What will be its slope? Negative. Its slope minus V by minus I. So it becomes positive. Slope is positive in the third quadrant. Here it is minus V by I. So it is negative. So it is negative. That means what we have concluded? What we have concluded? If the VI characteristic lies in first and third quadrant for all time, then the element will be said as passive element, right? Else it will be said as active element. Fine. This is a conclusion what we have got from the VI characteristic for the active and the passive. If the characteristic lies in the first and the second, then also it is active, because for all time it is not remaining positive. If it is remaining for all time it is positive, then only it will be said as passive. If the characteristic lies in the, for an element, if the characteristic lies between in the first and the second, then it is active. First and fourth, then it is active. first and third, then it is passive. Only in the first and the third, then only it will be said as passive. Rest all conditions are for active. Fine. Now let us see the third one, that is the unilateral and the bilateral. Unilateral and bilateral. What does it mean? Unilateral and the bilateral. So first we'll see about the definition. Now, if the VI characteristic remains same or unchanged for all time, although we change the direction of current or polarity of voltage, then this will be said as bilateral. This will be said as bilateral. Else unilateral. Else it will be said as unilateral. Fine? The meaning of it. For example, if this is a VI characteristic I am taking, this is I, this is V, minus I, minus V. The characteristic is, as is in the first one we will take it. VI characteristic. See here, the VI characteristic. Although we change the voltage polarity from positive to negative, although we change the polarity of the current means although we change the direction of the current, the characteristic remains same, then it is said to be the bilateral. Bilateral. With that, the previous one, it is in the first quadrant and the third quadrant. That means it is also passive. Fine. With that, how many straight line equations? 1. Is it passing through origin? Yes. Is it the slope is changing? No. It remains same for all the time. Fine. So it is also said to be the linear. So this type of characteristic is linear, passive, bilateral element. Clear? We'll see some more examples. Suppose this is a VI characteristic I have taken. Fine. This type of characteristic is given. First, we'll see whether it is unilateral or bilateral. Fine. See here. The characteristic here, what we are observing. What is the slope of it? 6 by 3, it is 2. After 3, it is constant 6. Fine. Here, we will see here. What is the slope here? Minus 6 by minus 3, 2. After this, it remains constant. So, is there any change in the characteristic? No. The characteristic changes? No. Although we change the voltage polarity, although we change the current direction, the characteristic remains same. So, this is bilateral in nature. Bilateral in nature. Now we will see active or passive. Its characteristic is in the first quadrant and in the third quadrant. So it is active or passive? It is passive. So it is passive. Linear or non-linear? We'll see that. This is a characteristic. How many straight lines are there? 1, 2 and 3. How many straight lines? 3 straight lines. So it is non-linear in nature. Clear? So this type of element is non-linear, passive, bilateral element. Fine? It's a very simple one. We will not go with the examples. Rather, we will see that what is time invariant. If a signal is there with respect to the time, this V, let us take V is a signal, its value remains constant although V increases the time. With respect to the time, the voltage remains constant. That means it is time invariant. Fine. Time variant. Suppose we have taken T and this is the signal V, and right, this is a characteristic. That means what? V is dependent on time. V is varying, V value is varying with respect to the time. As the time increases, the V value is also changing. What will be its equation? V will be equals to 2t. 2t. That means for t greater than equals to 0. So V is now dependent on time. So V is a function of time. Function of time. Right? So this is about the only a particular voltage I have said. Similarly, the current is also changing. Right? Both voltage and the current are changing, or any one is changing. Then definitely the characteristic will also change. So what I'll write down here, if the VI characteristic changes with respect to time, then it is time variant, else it is time invariant. Fine. Else time invariant means what? Vi characteristic doesn't changes. Doesn't changes with respect to time. Fine. Okay. Moving to the fifth one. We'll see the fifth one. It is lump and distributed parameters. Right? Lump means what? The element which can be easily separable. Means what? Example. What is the example? Resistor, you see, inductor, capacitor. These are the solid elements which can be attached, which can be easily removed from a circuit, right? And easily measurable also. What is a unit? What is the value of the resistance? What is the value of the inductance? What is the value of the capacitance? That we can know it and easily we can remove it from a circuit. That is why it is said to the lump parameter. But what happens here? Another is said to be the distributed parameters. Means what? Which cannot be separable. Example. What is the example? We have the best example of the distributed is the transmission line. Transmission line. Source. We have two things the electrical, right? One is set to the source, another is set to the sink or the load. Right? Now, energy is transferred from source to the sink always. That means what? Source delivers energy, sink absorbs energy. Absorbs energy. So source delivers to the sink. Now, what type of sources are there? First one, as per the supply. As per type of supply, the sources are of two types. One is DC, another is AC. What is this one? Direct current. Fine. This is alternating current. So, what type of sources are there? DC source, another is AC source. Fine. So, as per that one, what are the notations we are giving for the DC source? For DC, always it is denoted with a battery symbol, positive and negative, or with the oval, that is positive, negative, or with a unidirection, that is given. This is a battery which is having positive terminal, negative terminal. It It's also having positive terminal, negative terminal. This is a voltage. So it is voltage, it is a current. So this is basically battery. This is voltage source. What type of voltage source? DC. This is current source. Fine. Similarly, for AC we are having again this type of source, but its representation is different, alternating in nature. This is positive voltage source, whereas a current denoted with the direction but alternating in nature, so it is a current source. So this is voltage source. This is current source. This is as per the type of sources, type of supply. If it is DC supply, DC source battery, DC voltage source, DC current source. If it is AC supply, then it is AC voltage source and AC current source. These are the notations as well as the type of sources which we use it. Fine. Next, sources are of two types. First one, independent sources. Independent sources. Second one is dependent source. Dependent source. What does it mean? Dependent source means the source which depends on a parameter of a passive element. Parameter of a passive element. Across any element, resistor, inductor, capacitors basically are said to the passive element. Fine? Resistor, inductor, capacitor are said to the passive element, and if this source is depending on any of the parameter, what are the parameters in electrical? That may be voltage or current. So if this source depends on any parameter of a passive element, is said to be dependent source. Dependent source. If it is depending on any of the parameter of a passive element, fine. If it is independent, means what? What is this one? Doesn't depends. Doesn't depends on any parameter. Now this type of source will be said as independent sources, such as, we'll see the examples. See the examples. Independent sources or independent sources. If it is a battery source, if it is a battery, is it depending on any of the voltage or current? No, it has itself its voltage which will pump some of the current. So it is independent of any of the element, any of the parameter of a passive element. It is independent. If I take a voltage source, fine, it also have the finite energy to pump some current. It is independent of any of the parameter of a passive element. Fine, voltage source, that may be a current source also, independent. But suppose see in this circuit, this is a current source, but this current source is depending on the current, that is one of the parameter of this element R3. That is why this source will be said as dependent source. This will be said as dependent source. What type of source? Dependent source. Why? Because its value, its current source value, current value is depending on the current flowing in the resistor R3. Thus, it is said to the dependent source. Now, we'll see what are the notations for the dependent source. For dependent source, always we represented the source with the help of a rhombus. The help of a rhombus. Fine? This is a representation. Whereas, for the independent source, we always represented with the help of a oval shape. If it is a voltage source, we will put positive, negative. Current source, we will give a current direction. Similarly, for the dependent source also, we will give the positive and negative polarity if it is a voltage dependent source. If it is a dependent current source, then we will put a current direction. We will see with the notations. Fine? Dependent source. We are dealing with the dependent now. Dependent source. What I said? Dependent sources means it is depending on certain parameter of a passive element. What are the parameters of a passive element? Voltage or current. Of a passive element, so I am taking this one as Vx and Ix, where X is a passive element, and I am taking two sources. What are they? Vs and Is. Fine? Clear? If this Vs is depending on Vx, fine? Let us take number 1. Or this Vs is depending on Ix. Let us take number 2. First one. So, if Vs is depending on means Vx. Fine. Mathematically, what we will write down? Vs equals to sum of the const. We'll take any of the constant. Let us take K1. K1 times of Vx. For proper notations, I am taking this one as Vs as mentioned. Fine. Vs is equals to K1 times of the Vx. That means until unless we know the Vx, we cannot find out the Vs. So what type of source it is? What type of source it is? It is dependent on voltage. So what type of source I will write down this one? I'll write down this one as voltage dependent voltage source. Fine. This was the first case. Similarly, we will move to the second one. This voltage source is dependent on the current. That means what I will write down here, Vs dependent on Ix, which implies that Vs equals to K2 times of Ix. Fine. What I will write down this one? What type of source? Is it a voltage source or current source? Voltage source. So I will write down this one as voltage source. Depending on whom? Current. So I will write down this one as current dependent voltage source. Clear? Now we will see its unit. What will be its unit? Fine? These are the first two cases. Let us move to the third one. So, you will see the third case. What it says? Third says that this Is is proportional to Vx. This implies Is will be equals to some constant of proportionality, that will be the K3 Vx. This Is is depending on Vx. What type of source? Current source. So I'll write down this one as current source. On what it is depending? Voltage. So voltage dependent current source. Let us see for the fourth case. For the fourth case, what is it? This Is is proportional to the, it is depending on Ix, depending on Ix, which implies Is equals to K4 times, K4 is a constant of proportionality of Ix. What does it mean? Is depending on Ix. That means what type of source? Voltage source or current source? Current source. So I'll write down this one as current source. On what it is depending? Current. So I'll write down this one as current dependent current source. So how many type of dependent source we have got? We have 4 types. Voltage dependent voltage source, current dependent voltage source, voltage dependent current source, current dependent current source. 4 types of dependent sources are there. Now we'll represent it with the proper notations. Let us see its notations. The proper notations, right? Already I have said it, the dependent source will be represented by rhombus. So I will represent this all with the rhombus. Fine. First case I am taking as voltage dependent voltage source. What type of source it is? Voltage source. So it will be having one positive, negative. Fine. So Vs equals to K1 times of Vx. Depends. Vs depends on Vx. What will be the, if I will find out, what will be the K1 value? Vs by Vx. What is the unit of the Vs? Volt. Vx, volt. Volt by volt. So unit is what? Unit less. Fine. Moving to the second one. What is the second one we have taken? Rhombus only will take. What is that? Current dependent voltage source. What is the source here? Voltage source. Fine. So it is taken as positive, negative voltage source. So what I will represent here? Vs equals to K2 Ix. On what it is depending? Vs is depending on Ix. So this can be written as K2 equals to V2 by Ix. What is the unit of volt? What is the unit of volt? Unit of voltage? V2 volt. What is the unit of current? Amp. Volt per amp. The unit is ohm. The unit is given as ohm for current dependent voltage source. We'll go for the next one. We have gone through the voltage source. Now we'll come for the current source. So this is the current source. First we'll take the voltage dependent current source. So it is a current source and a voltage source. Current source. So we'll be having some direction in it. We'll be having one direction in it. What I'll write down here? Is will be equals to K 3 times of Vx. That means what? K3 equals to Is by Vx. What is the unit of Is? Ampere. What is the unit of the voltage? Volt. Ampere per volt. It's opposite. So its unit is ohm inverse. Its unit is ohm inverse. Similarly, the fourth one. What will take? Current dependent current source. Is it a current source? Yes. So direction will be there. What will write down? Is will be equals to K4 times of Ix. Fine. So K4 will be equals to Is by Ix. What is Is? Unit ampere. Ix ampere. Ampere by ampere unitless. So what is its unit? Its unitless. So from here we came to know that the dependent sources are of 4 types and the representations are given in the rhombus form. If it is a voltage source, positive, negative polarity will be there. If it is a current source, then the current direction will be there. Right? And the respective constant of proportionality unit also we came to know here. Fine. This is all about the lecture number 2 and the rest of the things we will be discussing in the lecture number 3. Fine. Thank you.